everybody. I see nobody now.
Wait a second. Are you wearing a shirt with like a light on usually?
Yeah, it's Christmas there, Kernan.
I'm
Oh my
done.
God. Let me wait 1 second.
But Kernan, I thought you'd love Christmas clothes because you always don your gay apparel.
Jeez.
And this
And for
and
Durbin
this
laughing
goes,
at a very stupid joke.
yeah, and this was always making his Yuletide gay.
Oh, Conan, could you imagine
That's terrible, bro. And then you ask why I don't go to your
Hughie's?
show.
Could you imagine if you ever had gone on Hughie's podcast
Yeah.
and he would just be throwing these bad jokes at you the whole time, and Durbin would be there
Like
laughing.
saying that, you know he gets no ass. The only way he's gonna get laid is probably crawling up a chicken's ass and waiting. You're fucking both of you guys are incels.
But your problem is, Kernan, you're angry because you've seen more camel toe than mistletoe.
This is forget the kazoo.
That's brutal. Felicia, what do you think of this guy's humor?
I
You know he's
usually
not getting laid much.
interchange, but that last joke was a little rough. I'm not gonna lie.
We all were. All right.
If
Come
you
better
didn't have the
prepared.
accent, though, you wouldn't get away with half of the shit you say. Honestly.
Yeah. The accent.
So, let me ask you a question, Felicia. Give us an idea, like, do you, I see like a lot of guys now, for especially like in the wrestling industry, like we talk about this all the time with disco, like before back in the day when after we had a wrestling match, all the wrestlers, they were all running the strip clubs and the fans were running there too. And like AEW and other promotions come to Vegas and he never sees any other wrestlers there or any of the fans there. Well, what's going on with this generation now? Are they looking at as that's objectifying women, or are we raising a
No,
bunch of
strip
pussies? What's
clubs
going
are-
on?
Strip clubs are pro sex work, so as long as they're not skeezy, I mean, I don't think anybody has a problem with them. I don't know why people don't like congregate after shows. I'm not very social myself, so I understand like why I don't go out and stuff. But I don't know, maybe just people like go home and jerk off to their like porn online. I don't know. I don't know. My generation doesn't really do strip clubs as much, you know.
Your
Why do you
generation
think-
doesn't really do much at all. It's like I'm talking about specifically like wrestling fans. They're a very weird group of people these days. They're not very social. They're not cool. They don't like cool things. They're ready to complain at the drop of the hat all the time. They think
I mean, I get along with a ton of people that go to wrestling shows or are like a fan of me or something like that, but you know, it's not a huge amount. I don't know. I guess I do hang out with some people afterwards, but I end up, I don't know. Then also like there's rumors and all that shit to avoid, so maybe people are just kind of trying to stay away from drama in general. I don't know. That's one of my guesses.
Tell us some rumors.
I mean, there's so many rumors about me. You can Google them, you know.
what's the worst rumor about you? That's not true.
The worst rumor?
Yeah.
Ooh, there's so many. I don't know.
I'm gonna Google it.
I guess the worst rumor is that I'm trying to fuck wrestlers because ew. Like, no, thank you. I'm all
Well,
set
if you
there.
have a sign, or whatever you
You have
said.
affections for Finn Balor.
I
You actually had a.
fucking. First of all, that was like 5 years ago now. Get over it. And second of all, it was a goddamn joke. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, nobody was trying. Like, if I want to slide in someone's DMs, I will. I don't need to fucking make a sign for them.
Have you slid into somebody's DMs before?
A couple people, yeah.
Interesting. Oh, you first followed them.
Wait, what'd you say? Your
Did you
audience.
follow them first, or did you follow them? Or they follow you?
Yeah, I guess I probably wait for people to follow me before I DM them.
Interesting.
Is
I
there?
don't like rejection, so. Fuck
Let
that.
me ask you a question. Is there? Do you think, and this is for all three of you, is this? Do you think there's a component of a lot of kids nowadays staying at home, playing video games, being more indoors, and just communicating, not calling people? Everything's communicating through social media. You're hurt, be bullied on social media. The amount of medications that you see they give kids nowadays, if they have some sort of ADD disorder, the amount of kids that you see getting on drugs a lot earlier because they're hearing it like in rap and shit like that. Do you think there's a lot of that maybe contributes to some of the awkwardness that you see in a lot of today's youth, especially like in wrestling shows, because you see a lot of awkward, socially awkward people in wrestling.
I definitely think there's a huge connection to people that are introverted and, you know, they have now an outlet to be able to be introverted within, which is online and video games and things like that. And I think that because of that, a lot of people aren't very good at communicating in real life. There's so many people that seem so sweet to me online, and I'm like super excited to meet them. And then I meet them and they're just like, hey, I'm like, let's talk about a thing or two. And they're just like, and I'm like, I don't know what to do with that. So I try my hardest to like help people out of their shells, because I understand like we definitely like enable that behavior, but I also think there's a line. Like, you have to know when you have to figure out how to get out of your parents' basement and be social and be like a decent human out of your house, you know?
I got a theory that I came up with, and do you think there's any truth? Do you think that wrestling fans over the years have gotten their fix, are getting their fix from playing the wrestling video games as opposed to watching on TV, and that might be a contributing factor as to why wrestling is not like it's losing the television audience?
What do you guys think?
Anyone?
Glenn,
Are you on the space station, Glenn?
No.
You sound.
I don't understand. You see the way I sound on Vince's show, right? Sounds perfect. That's the same computer. It's just Skype. I don't know what the deal is with Skype and as opposed to Yardstream, but for some, this sounds fine to me. You know, I don't know. It's very weird.
Yeah.
I just think that the problem with wrestling is it's because the fans don't like normal sports like MMA or boxing or tennis. So they watch the fucking wrestling and they're all outcasts and they think it's real and they freak out and it's never going to stop. Right, Conan?
All right. What do you think, Mike?
I mean, I played the video games back in the day. That
and
original.
I want to put over your pink mic. Microphone thing.
I knew that Felicia had pink hair, so I wanted to color coordinate with her hair.
You're trying so hard to get with her, aren't you?
He's wearing a shirt. Where's your
Conan, look at this shirt, man.
Oh, too.
Hey, Felicia's running a great 75% off sale over at manyvids.com. Search Felicia Raw, and she's got great titles such as practicing deep throating, public porch masturbation.
You could probably give a
public porch masturbation.
Yeah.
Why not?
Wait, there's a video. Wait, you have a video of somebody publicly masturbating on their porch?
Of me doing it.
Somebody.
Oh, you! I thought you'd been like a concept.
I think that Mike Durbin could give a tutorial on the fine arts of deep throating. Nothing.
Well, he watches enough of my videos, so if you take for my videos, probably.
Wow.
You're
here we go.
right now. You're the one reading off my fucking titles. I'm not blushing, but you are.
Okay, hey, how's my sound now?
It's lower but better.
Okay,
Yeah.
I didn't realize
Turn it completely off. That would probably be best. Nothing.
That's absolutely not true. Going to happen. I just noticed I had the settings wrong on this. So,
Hey, Disco, can I pitch you a gimmick?
Let's hear it.
Let me get my kazoo ready.
Get it ready.
Calm down, Conan. It's for the winter season only, and it's called Christmas Carol. And I got another one for you.
Okay.
This is for a guy wrestler. And the surname is Spoil. And the first name is Lou.
All right.
Right?
Were those supposed to be entertaining?
No, say the name the right way around.
No, I'm not gonna. You don't speak English. I'm not gonna pick the joke, right? What has everybody been watching? Let me ask you everybody a question. What wrestling shows have you been watching lately?
Nothing.
I don't watch any of them. To be honest with you, I've lost. Wrestling's lost me right now.
Everything I see if someone posts a clip on social media or whatever. I haven't put a show on in a little bit, like a couple months.
Yeah, I've been pretty out of the loop myself, to be honest.
It's too nerdy.
Isn't that kind of weird? It's like everybody's like, here's the thing. I keep railing on this because I keep hearing this. there's just still this narrative. Everybody says there's never been a better time to be a wrestling fan. And
that's what Mark say.
That's the same. My question is that why is there so few wrestling fans? Like, if there's never a better time for wrestling fans, you'd think there would be way more. Because like this is like the best time for them to be coming out with like, honestly, I think it's the worst time for wrestling fans. Because I can't watch wrestling shows anymore where the fans are reacting like wrestling fans. They're reacting like a bunch of weirdos that do chants and claps and everything. It's just like, and I just don't, I can't watch that. I like watching just like, I end up going back and watching old stuff. And it's like just to do stuff the way the fans react. I don't even think it's like I don't think you can call it like a wrestling reaction. It's just like it's just weird. They've like hijacked this product and created a new way you're supposed to view this stuff, and just I don't know. It's just it's losing me. I can honestly see professional wrestling as more and more. Like,
let me hear me out on this little theory that I have that I think we might have discussed when Mike was on last, and see if any of you guys have any thoughts on this. I think that obviously the wrestling that we grew up with is now changing because the fan base has changed. Because like when we growing up, like if you went to ECW, you saw those rowdy fans, and like those rowdy fans probably went the next day if there was a Philadelphia, Eagles game. They probably went to the hockey game or to the Eagles game or whatever, and they got just as rowdy. And now, as Hughley said, you got these fans that they just watch wrestling and nothing else. And the other thing is that these wrestling.
Stealing my line.
Not really actually stealing your line, commenting on your line, but for the interruption. And on top of that,
arguing.
And on top of that, we're starting to see like a lot of fans now, like the geeks, nerds. I don't use that disparagingly, but the geeks, nerds, and like LGBTQ community, like they're all starting to like, this is like their new thing now, wrestling, and now you're starting to watch them become wrestlers too. And there's like a whole new fan base of like nerds and geeks and comic book guys.
But let me tell you what Conan is with this too. It's a lot of these social justice fans, like the millennials. Yeah. What they do is when they become a part of the product and fans of it, they start making up all these rules that everybody else has to follow. Yep. Like all these things, like if you're a fan, you're not allowed to do this. If you're a wrestler, you can't. If you're a wrestling promotion, you can't do this. And they get like, it's like they shove all these rules down your throats, and like you want to sit there and say like, hey, wait a second, guys, these are up for debate. I don't want to, like, I'm not accepting this, like all these new rules that you guys people are coming up with without debating you on it. And it's like if you try and debate them, then they drop name calling and shit. It's like their way or the highway.
But don't you agree that there does need to be some progression as far as how?
No, we need.
I mean,
progression
I don't agree with you at all.
Let me tell you this.
What a quick answer.
It's always assumed that progressive thought is better. It's like no. It's like people coming up with new, different ideas. Just because you're coming up with new progressive ideas doesn't mean they're good ideas. What they do is like a lot of them are bad ideas, but you get enough of people agreeing with it, and it's a small pocket of people, and they like bulldoze this new idea right through everybody. And if you're not on board with it, you're getting slandered, name called, like you're a hater, just something. But a lot of these new like fan rules and stuff, they take away the one element that has always been necessary for professional wrestling. Is that if you're suspending disbelief, you need heat. Okay, and heat is an emotional response where you don't like somebody or you don't like, and it's like this new progressive thought of inclusivity and stuff. I think like no, it's like I'm not with that.
Okay,
wrestling is based on combat and conflict.
Okay, wait 1 second.
The reason I still watch wrestling is because it's inclusive now. I mean, I am a queer person. I'm a member of the LGBTQ community, and if I didn't see that people were able to come out and be themselves, I wouldn't be watching this shit. So I understand what you're saying to a degree, but now I think that there's just cheap heat that doesn't need to be done because it's been done 1,000 times before and it's never.
Like, give me an example. Give me an example, cheap. Well, what's
people because they're gay? It's stupid and dumb. Like, what the fuck? Who the fuck gives a shit what somebody's sexual orientation is? That's a dumb way to get heat, in my opinion.
Felicia? Let me ask you real quick because you
put over the fact you're smoking a blunt. I like that.
That's a second one.
I have morals, okay? I didn't say I was a good person.
Let me ask you a question.
Son of a.
Okay. This is.
Okay, what were you gonna say, Joe? Go ahead. What's your question?
Just that the fan. We're talking about how different the fan base is and how they're maybe not as rowdy. But I wanted to ask Felicia, as a manager on the Indies, how different are the fans? Like, do people still yell a lot of rude shit at you because you're the heel female manager? Has it changed? Do people still go over the line?
No, I mean, I set the line. I set the tone. I call myself a slut before they can, and then they're invited to do so with me. I mean, that's what I do. I have used sexuality in the ring against somebody, but I too was bisexual when calling him a bisexual bitch. There's ways to do it, I do agree, but there's ways to not do it. And I think that if you show respect to what you're doing, and especially if you're a member of the community within it, there is a way to get by and get all of the heat that you need. People scream shit at me all the time, especially at non-family friendly shows. They call me a slut, they call me a whore, they tell me their safe word, all sorts of shit, but it gives me good banter. I'm not saying that shit should go away, but the people in the ring should be determining where the line lives. And I think more fans being respectful of that, I think, is important.
What does Mike Durbin say for it? Vince Russo? Nothing? Nothing,
But-
Mike?
Disco, what was your take on the guy that shouted "Go back to China" to the Japanese wrestler at NXT?
Deal.
Stupid.
Big deal. I mean, like, this is my whole thing. You're performing in professional wrestling business. This is what these like young up and comers don't realize. Okay, is that you're gonna be, if you want to do this for a living, at a live show in your career, you're going to be performing in front of hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people
But she
over the course of
handled
your
it
career.
properly.
But listen to this. Let me tell you something. No, let me
And
finish.
she was quick
Let
too.
me finish. Let me finish. If you don't think that if you look at just the standard deviation of fans in the bell curve, right, that there are going to be a percentage of assholes in the crowd, it's not your job to sit there and stop your performance in the middle of it and try to police the way that they're acting. Okay, just that's what you're doing is like you're breaking character.
Right.
Because you're letting the person know that, like, that, hey,
They got
you got
Right,
to me personally.
Which
Alright?
now you look like a jack off, and now
Right.
everybody else jumps on you, and they'll jump on you on
Right.
other shows. It's almost like, bro, if you went to theater and you're watching some shit about Julius Caesar and Brutus, who's the bad guy, comes out and you start booing him, and he goes, "What the fuck are you booing? You don't you don't fucking stop in the middle of a fucking theater." To fucking chop it up with the fans or argue with them. I would like to say that Disco is a big fan of when Nia Jax was called Hot Dog, too.
Well,
Cheeseburger.
Cheeseburger.
Whatever.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
somebody yelled that I had syphilis in the ring the other day. I didn't break character. I
Right.
looked
That's
over,
great.
rolled my
That's
eyes.
what you're supposed
But
to do.
it worked that's the thing is, like, it just needs to work with what you're doing. And it worked with what I was doing. Yes, that's correct. Tell me I have syphilis. That's the whole point of me being in the ring. But I'm also not going to entertain it unless it really works within what I'm doing. You know what I mean? But I understand what you guys were saying, but I think that there definitely needs to be a new line drawn for a lot of things.
Well,
Like
I
what?
agree
Like-
with Mike.
Wait, like what?
Wait a second.
Wait,
What do
like
you mean by
what?
a line drawn? What do you mean?
Like, you can't just get away with certain things because you want heat. You know what I mean? Like, you have to be smart about it and you have to do it right.
Okay, but give me an example.
Yeah, give me an example.
What words or lines should not be crossed?
Like there's no reason to say the
Appropriate
F word in
uses.
the ring or the N word or words that just are not. If it's not appropriate in society, like, it really just needs to be thought about before you bring it into the ring.
But here's the thing. This is what people fail to realize. It's like somebody uses the N word, okay, bro. You're not going to find anybody based on the way people that do that are treated by media, by everybody else. You're not going to find anybody supporting that, okay? If somebody's doing it, or somebody says it, or says it at a show, you understand. Everybody understands that's wrong. It shouldn't be done. Don't do it again. Shut up, jerk. You're being an asshole. Sit down. Okay. There's no reason to make a whole week thing on social media about, like, somebody says, because somebody, like, said something, an improper thing at a show, where it gets blown up and everybody virtue signals on, oh, this is not right. We should not be doing this at a show. This is terrible. Like, yeah, of course but we get it. Everybody knows this.
Right.
Everybody
So you're
shouting
saying
at
it should
the
be
clouds
like
of all times. I'm just saying, it's like if it happens, it's not a significant thing. If it happens all the time, repeatedly, over and over, it's yeah, but, like, if it happens once in a blue moon, It's not like we don't have to make some social comment on it. It's like, yeah, the guy's an idiot. Somebody used an N-word at shows. Like, what a schmuck. You know, so now I have to make a racism should not be allowed. It's like, we get it. Everybody knows this. Everybody understands this. We've all been educated to this.
But if
all we do
everybody knew it, then that schmuck wouldn't be there.
It's one person. If you perform in front of like 800,000 people in your career and 7 fans said the improper things over the course of time, what are you gonna do? You gonna make a big deal of those 7 fans? It's like it's a blip on the radar of your life when something like that happens. But everybody tries to make it like it's a bigger deal than it is, and it's not. It's not that big a deal.
That's not the point. Is that it's not up to you to decide if it's a blip on the radar of your life or not. You're a white dude telling us this. Like, you don't know how people feel when people are when they're attacked in the ring. If they want to make a thing of it, I think they have every right to.
No. I do know how people feel.
I was gonna say, Disco.
I do know you have a humongous catalog of how people feel. All you gotta do is go on social media when this stuff happens, and you see how people feel. It's like don't say like I don't know how people. No, I know how everybody feels.
I just would like
I see it. Everybody gets outraged. You know,
have
like
seen the
crazy.
meme?
I'm like, Jesus.
Have you seen the meme of Homer Simpson yelling at a cloud? Have you seen that, Felicia? Yeah. It's now been replaced by DI, and he's yelling at the clouds.
No, but here's the thing. There's been a reverse in basic psychology, human nature over the course of like the last 20 years of the millennials coming in, is that we grew up in a day and age where the mantra was that you were taught this by everybody. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. Somewhere over the past 20 years, we've said that's not right, okay? Because words hurt. You know, words hurt people. Words hurt. I'm like, really? It's like words really didn't hurt people that way. Our generation was fine. Everybody was cool. We watched stuff on television that today people look at it and they're outraged by it. They can't believe that people are saying that. I'm like, we watched it. We were mentally strong enough to basically handle everything because we were taught words don't hurt you.
Right, but here's the problem.
Like, right. Words are like the worst thing. That you can't say that. That's horrible. I'm like, well, we're all gonna live. Like nobody's getting suffering physiological or biological damage from hearing bad things. All right, and
I would disagree with that.
No, just show me one.
There's fucking all these kids committing suicide because of fucking cyberbullying, which would have never happened with me.
When you say all these kids, how many kids we talking about?
I don't know. Let me look
at 70 million kids in this country, dude. Just about all these kids.
Facts. Let me see.
Well, what are they like 7,000 kids out of 70 million kids?
That's still a lot, bro. One of them.
That's not a lot.
If you have a son and one of them fucking.
It's not a lot.
Oh no, Conan, our generation's fine. We're just
shooting
everybody right now, but our generation's so good.
I'm just saying people are bad at math. You look at the percentage of times this happens, the percentage of people that it's not big at all. It's minuscule. It's like a needle in a haystack sometimes. If you look at the numbers, and we're making a big deal out of needles and haystacks most of the time. Like with these things when something happens at a show, or like a fan called Sami Zayn and the F word. And it's like, oh my God, that was a big deal for us. Like really? Come on. It's like let's move on. It's like if it happens 10 times in the next month, yeah, then it's an issue. But one time, I'm like, come on.
Okay, well, I'm gonna find the number right now, but this caught my eye. It says boys are 4 more times likely to die from suicide than girls. Okay, suicide is the 3rd leading cause of death in young people's 15 to 24. Girls are more likely to try to commit suicide than boys, and guns are used in more than half of all youth suicides. Now, let me see what is the number, because since you say it's a very low one, what?
If you see this article that I saw, the rates have climbed so much in the last 2 years that it says suicide was the 10th most common cause of death among Americans of the age 15 to 24. The 10th.
I love this Christmas party, by the way.
Yeah, it's great, ain't it? The 10th most common cause in 2017. Now in 2019, it's the 2nd leading cause of death among young Americans 15 to 24. So obviously,
the second cause is AEW.
What are the other causes of death for kids aged 15 to 24?
Cody Rhodes promos.
I mean, how are 15 to 24-year-olds going to die?
Okay, this is for Mike's over the top.
Seriously, killing yourself. I think killing yourself would be the number 1 cause of death, because it'd be a lot easier to kill yourself than get killed on a daily basis.
Not if you mess with me.
Let me see. Okay, Joe Feeney 2.0. Let me see where.
And there's another thing too. Like back in the day, you could joke around with friends. Oh, shut up! Go kill yourself. It's like you can't even say that anymore. That's like way too. Oh my God! Watch out! It's like you're gonna. You know what I'm saying? It's like I don't know. It's just like we're creating all these rules that I guess we have to do for other people, but like they wouldn't affect me at all. You know?
But that's you talking about your experience, and you can't talk about the experience of somebody in the queer community, and you can't talk about an experience being a person of color. So therefore, you shouldn't speak on behalf of what people are and aren't.
What is it? Why are so many white people speaking? Why are so many white people speaking on that?
I just defended the LGBTQ community.
Okay, but
speaking on behalf of.
But you're talking about minorities.
And as a half fag, you're not allowed to say it, but I am, motherfucker.
Okay, but let me say this. Are you allowed to talk about the way people treat black people?
Well, yeah, but like.
Wait a second, but you see the point here? You're making a rule that you're saying I should abide by, but you can't.
But I'm not out there waging, like I'm not on a pedestal speaking on behalf of an experience I don't have, and it's my point. So you saying I wouldn't feel this way, that's nice. But that's not how everybody else is. So you can't speak on behalf of others.
I'll say this, okay? A doctor that has never had cancer can sure speak about cancer, can he? Even though he's never had the experience.
Shut up.
Okay, no, but here's what I'm saying.
You're
anybody
really
you made a rule. You made a rule that I can't speak on something if I'm not a member of that community because I haven't shared the experience. But what if I know enough of people that have had these experiences? Am I allowed to speak on it?
You're allowed to speak on it, but I said on behalf of. You can't tell people that you know what the experience is like if you haven't had it yourself. That's it.
But what if you have enough people to tell you what the experience is like?
Shut up.
Seriously, but that's a serious question. You made up a rule that I think on this is what we do.
I didn't make up the rule. That is the rule. It has been written, and it wasn't written.
Well, show me that. Come on. I'm not gonna. I'll debate this. Because I think
nothing to debate. I'm right and you're wrong. That's it.
See, this is what happens. This is the disconnect between millennials and my generation.
Example right here.
You're saying stuff. You're assuming you're right. I'm saying, wait a second. This is open for debate, and you're saying, no, it's not. I'm right. You're wrong.
Open for debate. I just said you can't talk about the experience of a person you haven't lived in the shoes of. That's it.
Why not?
I don't agree that because you've read some anecdotal bullshit or your friend told me how it was, you can speak on behalf of. That's how
you're not like based on that. Then how can anybody tell somebody that's in the professional wrestling business about the wrestling business?
They shouldn't. They should shut their fucking mouths.
But we're in a culture right now where basically that rule's been shattered because everybody, their mother that's never spent a minute in the wrestling business, knows everything about it and speaks on it.
I didn't write that rule, and I don't abide by that.
But you're writing the other rule.
I didn't write the other rules. Someone else wrote the fucking rule.
You're writing these rules, and they're the same rule. But you're not. You're only applying them one in the case where it suits you. One
like
the other case
doesn't. Motherfuckers are just sitting back watching us fight each other.
Bro, this is every fucking show. He's socially retarded.
I'm not socially retarded. How could you possibly say that I'm socially retarded?
Bro, because you're always trying to fucking talk for other fucking nationalities and shit when you're a white dude. That's it. Talk about your experience.
Conan,
you can talk about white guys or Italian guys, and that's about it.
You've never had a job. You've been in the military, you got into wrestling.
What, military isn't a job? Did I do that for free?
Time out. I work for a living. I work in a business.
What was being in the military? What would you think? What the fuck I was doing?
No, but here's my point. Okay, I know more about people than you do.
How would you?
Because I've done both. I've toured the world like you do as a performer, but I also have a job and work with other people that work for a living in the same place, and we all work on a schedule.
You couldn't tell me shit about the Cuban, Puerto Rican, Mexican experience, except maybe that you drank tequila and Cuban coffee. That's about it. You don't fucking know shit.
Cafe Bustelo is delicious coffee.
That is.
Okay. Yes, it is. Oh, but do we turn the new one?
That's anything you could. That's about all you could tell me about my Cuban part.
But who cares? What am I going to tell about Cuban experience? What's the Cuban
but what
experience?
I'm saying you don't know. So why are we talking? You wouldn't fucking know. So why are we talking? You know, you have bro, and that's one of the things that I always feel like. All these Trump guys like you, there's like this little part of you is like, yeah, good, fuck. You know, let's bring this white power back where we have some.
Get the F out. What is white power back? Like,
this white privilege. Yeah.
Wait, is that a 1488 tattoo on your arm? What?
Who's got a 1488 tattoo?
You do.
He is a proud boy.
Absolutely.
By the way, that's Felicia's third blunt in about 4 seconds.
Oh, yeah, she's smoking. I can't see anybody, by the
Smoke
way.
weed, Hughley.
Well, it's the
Yeah,
You do smoke weed.
fuck yes.
What was that you were smoking before? A cigarette?
Well,
Who,
me?
Hughley.
That's the thing. I can't say it publicly.
What? You can't say it publicly.
Yeah. Hey, I got a question for Disco and Felicia.
What's your question, Hughes?
Because Felicia, you know Sonny Kiss personally, don't you?
Yes, I do.
But what's your take on how he's being booked in AEW? Because they really don't seem to be doing anything with him other than having him be extremely camp on TV and then going away. So do you think that they're...
They're brand new. I'm sure there's lots of storylines that are going to be worked out that we're not seeing just yet. You know what I mean? So I can't really speak on behalf of that because I don't talk to Sonny about anything coming up with like AEW, but I just think that, you know, they grab that talent and they want to make sure that they have him for something coming up. You know what I mean? I'm sure they're going to use it in the storyline.
What do you think about him being used in AEW? Disco? You're a big fan, and I'm not going to clickbait this or misquote you at all. So what's your take, Disco, on Sonny Kiss's booking in AEW? Glenn?
I'll be very honest.
Are you all right, Mike?
This
Because
is-
it's not
this
that
is-
funny.
And like, this has nothing to do with me being homophobe or anything. I'll be just to be perfectly
Oh,
honest.
wait a minute. Wait. When somebody says this is
Yep.
nothing to me,
No.
like being
That's what I'm saying.
homophobic, something homophobic's about to be said.
I'll just
Hit
say
it.
this. No, let's just say this. This is from just a thing. You always have to clarify this. You talk about stuff like that. I was not that impressed with his work. That's
Because
it.
he's
I'm
black?
not that impressed with it.
But that's the thing too. You haven't seen that much, right? He's
Yeah,
only
that's the thing. He hadn't impressed me yet. He hadn't really done anything that's impressed me. He hadn't anything like I think he sucks or anything. But
Sonny, I've seen Sonny wrestle a ton of times in person, and I watched Sonny on Lucha Libre as well. So Sonny, you know,
well,
I've
that's
seen
just
a lot.
my
Were
from
you
what I seen.
impressed? Were you impressed
just-
by what was I don't even know. Day. Is that the name? Tyler. What was the Nyla Jax or what was her name?
Nyla Rose.
Nyla Rose.
Do you think the possibility exists that the way that trending towards some of the things that these social justice type of philosophies of inclusion and stuff and everything and all these things, do you think that the possibility exists that it has hurt the overall marketability of the wrestling business in general? I would say if you looked at the numbers, you could make a case.
Bro, I just told you that I think the wrestling dynamic is changing and it's becoming more accepted and more a part of the LGBTQ and nerd geek culture than ever before. And that's what you're going to see in the future.
Okay, and what do you think going to happen to the fans?
I don't know, but I will tell you this.
How many people
I
do you
will
think
tell
are
you
interested in
this.
watching
I
stuff like
know I
that?
just said,
More fans
but I
will
will
wanna
tell
come.
you this.
War fans? Are you
I will tell you
serious?
this. I will tell you this. I will
Okay.
tell you this. A lot of people claim that they support each other and all that, but the LGBTQ community supports their shit like 100%. You know what I'm saying?
But Conan, it's to do with the fucking geeks. Like the new Star Wars film just opened
Right.
to way less box office than any of the other previous films because the fucking nerds are scaring off the really cool people like me and Joe Feeney from going to see it. Even though
None of you I would consider cool, but go ahead.
See, I'll let you away with that because we're good friends.
No,
but if this
because
was
it's
said
true.
that, I'd be pissed off. We're practically brothers.
No, we're not. The
Yeah,
only
I
guy
liked
thinks
it
you're
better
cool
when
is a
we
guy
were
who's
talking
laughing like a
about
hyena, Mike Durbin, huh?
I said I liked it better when we were talking about my porn.
Yes.
Yeah.
Before we get out, well, yes, we are all fans of porn. That is one thing. So put over your thing. What can people find you, and what is it that you give? You give advice, you give tutorials. Obviously, you do because you just said you show how to deep throat and shit. But what's going on over there that could help guys out?
Well, I have a podcast called The Screw you can find on anything, and that is where you can get most of your advice stuff. I also interview like wrestlers, wrestling personalities, all sorts of people. And if you want some more insight into...
Well, I have not had me or Disco on yet.
Because, what really?
I think we just found out why she won't have Disco on.
I'm not having Disco
Yeah.
on. But
Wait, time out. Why would you not have me on? I'm a
not.
good.
It'll be
Because we're pro-queer fucking podcast.
I'm
Please
not
bring him-
anti. Wait a second. I'm not
Felicia, bring
anti.
him on. Wait a minute. Bring him on and let everybody know for 2 weeks what type of person's coming on, and then let him accept calls.
open the phone line.
That's actually a great idea.
Yeah.
Yes. But yeah, that's called The Screw if you want advice stuff. And then my dirty Twitter is Felicia Rose Raw, and my regular Twitter is Felicia Rose. My Instagram's People's Tramp, and you can find me on many vids at Felicia Raw.
Okay, now why don't you give out some free advice? Give 1 or 2 hints, pointers, whatever, to guys out there that are having trouble meeting women or getting the relationships with them. Please listen up, Mike and Hughley. Go ahead, Felicia.
Okay,
Whoa.
If you're trying to shoot your shot, try
Right.
to open up with something that is more interesting than just hey, hello. But also like try to like maybe do a little like not creepy research, but maybe like if you're on Twitter, for example, like scroll through their stuff, see what they're about, and maybe have something to like connect to them about.
Right.
That would be my advice for like trying to like, meet new people.
So like if somebody met you and they were like, hey, I like the color of your hair, that's a good way to start the conversation? Or
No, don't do it. Don't talk about how I look, because there's
All right.
probably 12 other guys that are talking about how I look in my DMs as well. And that's for most women. So I would say talk about something like, oh, I see that you manage at this place nearby. I might go to that show. Or, oh, I saw that you were on this thing. I don't know. Just kind of like have something in common with the person. Oh, you like bowling, whatever. And then my other piece of advice would just be,
So what if a guy doesn't know that you're a manager and he just meets you? He can't say, hey, I like your hair.
What if
Oh,
it's he
that's
just
cool,
met you
but
at a
like,
bar?
hey, I like your hair is stupid because it's something about the way I look,
Right.
So if you,
Wait,
I'm saying
I thought
online,
women like to
but-
be
Wait, is there
complimented.
anything wrong? What's wrong with like guys liking the way you look?
No, that's fine. Like if you just
It's
see me
racist.
walking and you just want to talk to me, first, like don't catcall me, be respectful, be like, hey, could I pull you aside for a second? I just wanted to let you know you're beautiful. Instead of being like, yo, I like the size of your tits, just be a little respectful.
Oh.
And then I would say always make sure that if you're going to use saliva as lubricant, that you've brushed your teeth properly so that you don't give a person a yeast infection.
Ow, yeah.
Did you guys hear that? All right.
I mean,
So,
that's time out. We have a lot of wrestling fans that listen to this. Telling
Wait,
you
I
to
have a
brush your
question.
teeth is good advice.
I have a question.
I guarantee you there's some people that wrestling fans, a large percentage of them do not brush your teeth every day.
I don't often like bump into bad hygiene wrestling fans, but then I worked that like big event thing and I walked outside and I walked back in and I was like, oh shit, now I get what people are saying. I didn't realize it before because I guess like maybe I just lucked out. It was cold or something. I don't know.
I have a question that ties into the show too, because as you guys know, Blue Chew does sponsor Keeping It 100, and if you use the code K100, you can get your free month of Blue Chew. But my question would be, if you're with a guy and he's going to be using an enhancer like a Blue Chew or something like that, does he need to tell you, or would you rather not know?
I mean, I don't think it matters.
Depends on how much coke he's done.
Unless it's going to make any kind of a difference as far as, what it means for the evening.
why
like,
would
if
you
you're
even
gonna try
tell
to
a girl
stay
that
for
you
7
took that?
hours
Bro?
That's what-
Wait,
Nobody ever admits to
I
using a
just took
performance-enhancing
Viagra.
drug.
Yeah, why would you tell a girl that?
Well, if somebody told me they took Viagra, I'd be bummed because then I'd be like, oh, well, this is like never ending. So like, I can only,
That's right.
eventually I have to
You know what? A
stop.
water.
After like 6 hours.
3 hours
I'm done.
in, she can figure it out, Joe. She can.
That's true. But I mean, is it like cheating? Is it like taking a shortcut if you use it?
The
And
shit, bro. That shit's like throwing
No.
turbo into your shit. You
Yeah.
just
No, no, you shouldn't have to tell somebody that you're taking a pill to like get
Joe
yourself
would.
hard.
Yeah,
Especially
because
if you're
basically,
self-conscious
I
about
wanna
it,
keep
hey, if you're doing an enhanced,
Obviously, Joe.
if you're performing an enhanced performance, don't ever tell anybody that it's an enhanced performance. That's how
just
you are all the
always-
time, right?
Always
Yeah.
have Blue Chew on hand.
Yeah, that's what they
I
give you
get
30. That's what they give you 30 of them
Yeah,
for
you
a month.
imagine Joe going, yeah, I just took some Blue Chew. That's awesome.
A lot of guys like admit to afterwards. They're like, "Yeah, I took something because I was nervous because you intimidate me," and I'm like, "Whatever." But
Like if somebody hits you up in their DM and said, "Hey, you want to go do something? I got a couple Blue Chew."
I'd be like, no, thank you. Have a nice day.
That's tremendous.
That's it. Wait, I just threw away the blue chew. You still want to hang?
Hey, Felicia.
Okay, one last thing. Do you use dating sites?
No.
Do you, Mike?
No.
Do you, Felicia?
Sometimes.
Okay, because that seems to be what everybody's using now. What would you say is a percentage of the people that you meet there that you would say you've been catfished?
69.
I don't know. I don't use it much anymore. I haven't.
Hey,
I don't know.
I gotta-
Probably like for me, maybe like 10%.
Really?
Hey, does everybody else have 20 more minutes here?
Yeah.
I got. Okay, I'm gonna do a special thing for this.